Have you ever wanted a totally awesome table like this Fireball fixture table, but you just can't afford it? Well, I have the solution for you. We're gonna make our own. Enter a plate steel table with a whole bunch of holes in it. I know what you're thinking. How do you get holes into a plate steel table without a laser or a fancy CNC machine? This is the new solution for you. So this is a drill fixture, and this is how we're gonna be able to create accurate holes on our 2-inch hole centers. And that's what the Fireball system uses, so that we can drill through this template into our tabletop and create perfectly centered holes. What I really mean is we're gonna get as close as we possibly can on the DIY budget. So the piece of plate steel that I'm gonna be using for this demonstration is one that I have already water jet some holes in it. And unfortunately, this was a prototype table and they're on 4-inch hole centers. And 4-inch hole centers is absolute garbage. You absolutely need 2-inch hole centers. So how does this drill template work? First, you line it to the edge of your table. Clamp it in place and drill your first row of holes. From there, we'll move the drill template up and drill the next set. We'll repeat this process until we're done. Setting your first row of holes is very important. Unfortunately, if you start drilling your first row of holes wrong, your grid pattern will start heading in the wrong direction. These 2 pins can go into 2 pocket hole locations on the drill fixture, 1 or 2 inches from the edge. One of the tools I like to use is a caliper. You can set the desired distance from the edge of the table to the edge of the fixture. Or I like to use a drill bit, and all you need is a 3/8 drill bit to put into the hole and then lock it over till it touches. And now I'm exactly on a 2-inch hole center going the X and the Y dimension. Now from here, all I need to do is clamp it in place. I'm gonna use some Mantis grip pliers to get me started. Sure to lock it down really good so it doesn't move, because everything's gonna be referenced off of these first holes. It looks pretty good. And now we're ready to drill our first hole. So I'm gonna be using this annular cutter to drill these holes. This is gonna drill really close to 0.750, and that's the target number we're trying to get to, because all the clearance is built into the tooling to make these fixture tables work. We want an accurate as hole as possible. These drill bushings are to the 1,000th of an inch. That slug fits in there, very precise, very tight. One of the things that's cool about the jig is that this cutter will not touch or drill or hog away into our fixture because it has a hardened drill bushing. So if you already have a mag drill to do this job, it's gonna be cheap. But if you have to purchase a mag drill to do this job, it's gonna get expensive, because about the cheapest one you're gonna be able to find is maybe 600 bucks. You can rent one, that's gonna keep the cost down. These 2 holes in the fixture to be plopped down right over to the top of the holes we just drilled. And now I can drill the whole second row without any obstacles, because we've located back here on our previous row. So as you can see, I have a 1/2-inch plate steel and a 1-inch thick fixture. These tacking bolts are designed to clamp something 2 inches thick. So in order to get there, we've added and included this 1/2-inch spacer in their kit. This tool can now provide the perfect clamping force to be able to hold this in place. I'm drilling through 1/2-inch plate steel, and I'm averaging about 20 to 25 seconds per hole. Drilling all these holes makes a mess, and cleaning all the chips and repositioning the mag drill does take quite a bit of time. A couple helpful tools that I find useful when drilling all these holes is a paintbrush to swipe away all the chips when you move the plate over to the next hole. The next thing that I'm using a lot of is WD-40, and that way I can spray it right into the hole and eventually it just evaporates and doesn't make a big mess like oil. I've tried high-speed steel annular cutters and carbide, and by far the carbide tip is well worth the extra money. Even though it does cost about $100, it really does speed up the production. So we're getting close to finishing up all the holes, and the problem is eventually my mag drill is going to fall off the end of the table because I'm not going to have enough room. So we have a couple different options here. One way is I can use my existing water jet cut holes that I have in this plate. That works out in my favor in this instance. But a lot of you guys aren't going to have pre-existing holes. So one way I would do it is I would give myself this corner hole and this corner hole by using the template going the other way. So I put the bolts in, holes I've already done down line, and like this, or whatever my last hole is in my row, and I'd come over here and I would drill it just like that. And then I would repeat the process over here, boom. With those 2 corner holes located, I'm gonna start going the other direction. okay? Because here's the thing, I know that this edge may not be perfectly straight. I don't know if this plate is the right width, so going the other direction might throw us off. Okay, so we need to just keep going with our grid, and wherever the grid falls, it falls. I got all the holes drilled. That's about 250 holes between 6 and 8 hours. So you guys can do some calculations to see how long it's gonna take you when you do your table surface. We're not done yet. We still have to chamfer them all. And this is what I'm using, a 6 flute 90-degree chamfer bit. With some light pressure, it makes these really nice chamfers. I like the 6 flute because it doesn't leave chatter marks. It's up to you on the depth you want to take it. I love DIY products because that's how I got started, and I want to make sure that you guys have the opportunity to use them too. Well guys, the table turned out pretty good, but let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. The good thing is, once you're done and have completed your table, what do you do with the fixture? Well, this is your first fixture, actually. It's by design to be able to use anywhere on the table, so use it accordingly. So that's excellent. The clamps, the fence blocks, they all fit in the holes, and they fit really tight from hole to hole. It is a really good fit. You have all the Fireball tooling now available to you once you get all your holes drilled. And you can see the clamps, how nice they fit, not a lot of wiggle room in there. They don't tilt back too far. Typically the holes on some of the other laser cut tables, I've noticed they lean back really far, but by drilling them, this is a really nice fit. This took a long time to do. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to tell if this type of job is worth it to you to save those little extra bucks. And also, how accurate is the table? Well, that really comes down to you and the plate steel that you started with. Here's a good example. This table right here has a crown in the center of it. So no matter what I do, how good of a job I've done drilling holes, this table is still not flat. It still has a crown to it, and you have to be okay with the material that you're starting with. So the outcome may not be exactly what you want. Because, is it gonna be as good as a Fireball fixture table? Probably not. And I want you guys to have realistic expectations when you do this job. There are some other options in this price range. When you think about the time you spent, if you have to purchase a drill, the tooling, maybe something like the Fireball Dragon Wagon is something up your alley. The price point is pretty comparable to this. You get a 5-sided table, you get cast iron, you get a milled flat surface, you get dragon skin, you get all the good stuff when you buy the Fireball table. So if there's any questions, please contact me at the Fireball Tool Forum. I'm on there typing away, and I'm gladly help you with any problems you have. I'll see you guys on the next one.